Kelly, it's good to see you again.
It's good to see you.
Great. How the kids doing in class? Are you feeling like they're making great strides?
Yes.
Awesome.
Very much so.
Well, Bailey seems to be coming right along.
Yes.
I can tell that math seems to be a little more of a strength for him.
No, it is.
Watching him with this lesson.
Right.
But, you know, as we know, literacy is a hard concept for a lot of students, and you can tell he's behind, but I can tell that you've been working with him.
Right. He actually reads on about a 4th grade level is
Okay.
where he is. But compared to the rest of the class, he's, a little bit higher than some of the rest of the class because some of the rest of the class is like reading on 2nd and 3rd grade. So,
Right.
He's kind of one of the higher ones in the class.
Okay,
So.
well, good. I'm glad he's feeling successful. That's
Yes.
because he has a good teacher.
Oh, I hope so.
Okay, well, getting on with our lesson today. Of course, I'm kind of like you. I really enjoy the literacy part of teaching, and I could tell that your students were very engaged in this lesson. And using technology is letting them use a tape recorder to actually listen to them with their actual expression. If we would, we're going to start there about your lesson, and basically it starts with you implementing watching your punctuation, when you need to pause, when you need to articulate
Right.
your phrasing. Can you elaborate a little bit on that for me?
Okay. Reading with expression is very important when reading because it helps you to comprehend what you're reading.
Mm-hmm.
And if you phrase your speaking when you're reading, not like you're talking like a robot, like I'm talking right now.
Yes.
It makes it easier for you to comprehend.
Exactly.
If you talk in jagged spots like I was just doing earlier,
Mm-hmm.
it makes it hard for you to comprehend what you're
They're just
trying to remember.
isolated words.
They're just isolated
Mhm.
words, and they don't remember anything.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're phrasing their speaking using their commas and their punctuation, that's one part of it.
And you know what I noticed too is by doing this, they self-correct themselves by listening.
Exactly. They have a chance during the lesson. They had a chance to listen to not only me read it, then we read it together as a group, chorally,
Mm-hmm.
and then they broke into partners and they listened to a partner read. And so when the partner was reading, they had a chance to even hear how they would read it.
And then they kind of critique them.
And they could critique them, and then they swapped places, and then they read it to their partner. One thing I like about that is the fact that these kids don't like to get up and talk in front of the classroom at all. But in this activity, they're having to read to each other, so that's kind of breaking that shell a little bit to get them out there, and so that they will try.
Not so self-conscious.
Right. They're so self-conscious about reading out loud.
Right.
And if they're hearing somebody who's reading exactly at their level or even lower than their level read, then it's helping them.
I love that. Another thing I wanted to really comment to you about, so important. Sometimes we forget to do this, but I love that you did it. And that is you reminded the small groups of the small group rules. So many times when you do let children work in a small group, they start talking and visiting, and I like how you brought those rules in and making them stay focused on the lesson.
The main reason I have to do that is because even though there's just 10 students in this classroom, when we break into groups, if there's, if we groups of 2, we're going to have 5 groups
Right.
going. And if they don't stay on task and they don't do what they're supposed to be doing, then it's going to be a free-for-all because we're going to have 5 different groups trying to get louder than the other.
Exactly. It's kind of a contest. Who can be the loudest and who can get the most attention.
Exactly.
I like that too. Can you tell me a little bit about how you decided on this particular lesson? And it was just something you do routinely, or is it something you thought, I want to try this, see how it works with my students?
Okay, well, one of Bailey's IEP goals was to be able to read grade level text fluently at a 70% accuracy by the end of the first 9 weeks.
Right.
And so that's one reason why I chose this, because reading fluently is not only important for Bailey, it's important for all my students. And so this program that we use does have certain parts of the program. Throughout the program, there are fluency checks for us to do checks with them, and it just so happens that this one fell in here and it went right along with what he needed.
Isn't that great when it happens like that?
Exactly.
And something else I wanted to comment. I like how you modeled the way to read, so they could hear it the way it should sound. So when they do their echo read, they know how it should sound.
Right.
So I wanted to say kudos to you for that, because let's be honest, they probably didn't have a lot of books read to them as young children.
Right.
And
except for at school.
Except at school. So hearing that dialogue and letting them actually hear that conversation as you're reading helps them want to be that type of reader too. So really excellent with that. And as we discussed before, when children work together, there's that comfort zone that when there's a teacher involved. And I loved how your students, especially Bailey, seem to really enjoy having that partner cheering them on. And then vice versa, he was cheering them on too.
Right, exactly.
Well, can you kind of, with your reflection, I liked how you put your own personal experience. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yes. When I was these students' age, I absolutely despised reading. I hated when the teacher would say, read paragraph. I was the student that would go ahead and read the sentence or the paragraph that I was going to have to read. So I wasn't listening to what anybody else was reading. I was practicing mine.
Students do that.
I was practicing mine up here 2 pages ahead, so that I knew how to read what I had to read out loud, and I wouldn't.
You didn't want to be embarrassed among your peers.
Exactly, and so I know what they're struggling with. I didn't like it. They don't like it. But now it's my favorite thing to teach.
You know, sometimes when we use our own experiences like that, and we can literally put ourselves in those students' shoes, it really makes us to be better educators. I found that myself. I just want to tell you again that I'm so proud of all the gains that I've seen with Bailey, and I just want to say that that's because of the hard work and dedication that you have done with this, not just Bailey, but with your whole class, and really enjoyed the lesson. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.